within 2 months. It never happened. So in the history of, for the last 1,000 years, nobody has come up with a drug or a vaccination within few months. It has
What's
been
a
at least
realistic time period? How long do you think is a time period? 1 year, 2
year,
years?
1 year, at least 1 year, yes. So
Wow.
until
Okay.
such time, we have to go through that. I think, only difference is the resilience of the entire human race that, they have in the 21st century. They
Yeah.
found that this particular thing, every lab, every person, every scientist start working on. Maybe we can, still it is highly unlikely, but still we may be able to manage a drug or a vaccine within a short period of time, but highly unlikely.
Someone was telling me that Apple was making eye masks. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I mean, I think the advantage we have is all of these, companies which have all this amount of resources and technology can if they put their heads together, some of these things can be expedited. That's a hope we have, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So we are only thing, we have never been tested on this type of pandemic in the recent time. I mean, whatever the
Yeah.
last one was, maybe 1960s, I
55.
think, Hong Kong flu,
Yeah.
right? So, but then again, the technology was a different level. Now today, it's if Australia found say rapid test kit, next day we know that, or we can
Yeah.
even speak with people. Or the same
Yeah.
thing happened in USA. We can speak to those people. It's a different
Yeah.
level due to internet and all that. So maybe things can trigger fast, I think, so due to all the technologies we have. So I think, so that's the only hope. So it's the positive side.
Yeah.
But but up to now, in the entire history, nothing has been found for a like a pandemic or epidemic like that within short period of time. I mean, we had so many other cases, but only difference that I see is that, like maybe Spanish flu in 100 years ago,
Yeah.
this is affecting the entire world, including all the countries that have the best resources. Now, for example, things like
Yeah.
Ebola, dengue, always
Yeah.
hit the poorer countries, or maybe the
Yeah.
countries that doesn't have all
Oh,
the
at
facilities.
least people who are below at a certain wealth level,
Exactly,
so to speak. So as a result,
exactly.
it kind of affected a lot more, right? Oh.
So the developed country really didn't matter. I mean, they didn't want to. I mean, they never had a urgency to come up with a vaccine or whatever, because it's never
Yeah.
affect them. But here is a different scenario. Everybody, especially, it started from the developed countries, right? So they have the urge, and they want to somehow come out of it.
Yeah.
So I think, so that's the only hope, that if we, entire human race comes together with
Yeah.
the best innovation that never happened in the entire
Yeah.
human race. So if that happens, we can expect like maybe 3 to 4 months we find a
Uh,
vaccination. But
I
otherwise,
feel I feel like dreamers, Matt. When you say that, I feel like a dreamer. If the entire human race comes together. Ah. So what is the new norm, Hemi? I mean, are we looking at? I mean, when I was very small, I watched the movie, and in that movie, you know, there's a man and a guy and a girl meet in a virtual world, and they decide that they want to meet in a actual physical world, and they decide to actually have a what I would call a physical relationship, and that physical relationship for two people seated in a distance, but putting a helmet in where the entire thing was simulated in the brain, right? And I
okay.
looked at it, I was like, that's never going to happen, right? Now, are we looking at a new norm where people will intentionally, or people will actually keep a significant? What is the new norm look like?
So I'm still skeptical. I also don't know what exactly that is. But then it's about uh, people will start looking at uh, certain things that for example, simple things. Now, I think you
Yeah.
mentioned about air getting cleaner now. Then we heard that calendar river getting cleaner after I don't know how many years. So,
Mm-hmm.
so and everybody talked about climate change, but nobody believed in, or at least the people who supposed to do the changes, they never believed. But I think things will change with this. I think this is like a shock given by the nature itself to the entire
Yeah.
human race, saying, okay, we have been telling this, so this is how
Yeah.
we. I mean, people were
Correct
thinking,
it.
okay, yeah, it might happen like a sudden what do you call it? You know, climate change generally talks about entire climate getting so cold.
Yeah.
So that was what we were expecting, right? Or there's no water, but this is something that nobody really thought about, an epidemic
Yeah.
coming in this magnitude.
Yeah.
So, but then because of that, within a few weeks' time, we see that there's effect to the nature, right? Yeah, it's getting cleaner, water is getting cleaner, so less
Yeah.
reduction, less, So I think it's people might start thinking that it's about sustainability is the thing, or it's about looking at the
Yeah.
entire life in a different way. At least the people who can well more power will start think about this. So I think that's the positive side of it.
But our
Uh,
social interactions, do you think that's going to shift the way we knew it, or we will worry about it for a while and we'll go back to how it used to be because we are just
it all depends on how badly we are going to hit it. I mean, it's
right.
for example, if it's really bad, people will talk about this for generations, right? I mean, if it is
Yeah.
just say 2 to 3 months, if we survive this,
Yeah.
then people will feel okay. There'll be a Superman who will come and save us anyway.
Understand.
Yeah.
But I think we are still grossly. I mean, are we at the beginning? Are we at the middle? Are we where are we in this? Because listen, I mean, one of the things I'm hearing from I was listening to NDTV, which is the Indian channel, and they were predicting like a. I mean, I couldn't believe it. They were saying that India is expecting about 1 million deaths or million plus deaths as a result. I mean, their numbers are, I mean, grossly understated, I think, because they are not checking enough. But where are we? I mean, are you thinking we are still at the tip of the iceberg? Where are we on this at the moment?
You're talking about Sri Lanka only?
No, I'm talking about, I will talk about Sri Lanka later, but give me the both perspective, global and Sri Lanka both.
Globally, I think this is going to be hit really hard. I mean, you can see the numbers now. So it's,
Yeah,
I mean, something like Spanish flu lasted for about 3 years, right? It
yeah.
came in two waves. The first wave was a milder one. The second wave was the real bad one. So I think maybe we are still in the beginning of the first wave, which is not the bad one. The bad one yet to come. So,
Wow. Okay.
so, so only hope that we have is our technology, the science, everything is much superior now. So
Yeah.
maybe at least we will hit a milder first wave, and then we learn from it and find a solution, and then we can face the harder one, in a better way.
Or maybe
But
we can
still
prevent the harder one.
prevent the hard one. Yeah, I mean the second wave. But
Yeah.
still, we are talking about the numbers now. Even US has said 200,000 deaths, right, already. So they
Yeah.
might they won't say it just for